Fingernails evolves around a powerful metaphor, a torn nail to determine love. So, is it true that we need love and be loved in return, even if it could hurt us, bringing so much pain?
I mean, love is painful sometimes, but we need it, no? I don't know. I think that love is something that even if we cannot analyze, we don't know exactly what it is, and we cannot even put it in our hand and say, oh, this is love. And sometimes even if we are projecting things on other people because we are forcing ourselves to feel it as we need it, I think that at the same time, when it's real, sometimes it's very painful, like losing a nail, but at the same time, it's so, so beautiful.
There's a quote from the movie that I really loved. Everything's too simple in films. Besides, watching a love story feels safe, being in love doesn't. In your opinion, has the cinematic representation of love conditioned the audience perspective about it?
Everything is much easier in movies. I mean, and especially in romantic movies and in rom-coms. Most of the rom-coms are a little bit like science fictions. If you will think that, even in Notting Hill, for example, we have as a reference in that scene, there is a guy that has a bookstore and the biggest Hollywood star begs him to fall in love with her. It's a science fiction. But yeah, I think that love in real life is a little bit different, but also we can make it in a very cinematic way and we can try to leave it on the edge. I mean, we need to leave our emotions on the edge.
It's never easy to tell the reality on the silver screen. Do you think the genres could help, and why the dystopian is the better choice to talk about love?
As we're trying to create, first of all, love is something timeless, and we have tried to create something timeless. And because we are trying to make a comment about how the technology has affected us, and how we are using also all these dating apps with our finger and our nail to swap right or left in order to find the perfect match. And in general, everything goes through technology right now, and love goes through screens. But I believe that love should go through eyes. We try to create this, not exactly dystopian, but more allegory that takes place probably in a recent past when the technology wasn't so omnipresent, and by using all these glances between the characters in order to show how love could be, and also to keep only one technological device in the film, which is the test machine, that everybody goes there in order to find real answers about love.
Cate Blanchett is one of the producers. How did you involve her, and what she liked most in this project?
I met her in Venice, here in Italy, in 2020, when we premiered with the previous movie with Apples. And she asked me if she can produce the next project. I mean, first she asked me if she can play, but we didn't have a role, and then she asked me if she can produce it. And that's how we agreed. And she was very supportive in all the ways. She was very, very helping us to create this movie. And I'm just very, very happy that we had her. And what she loves so much about the film is that for her, she wasn't expecting that something, she said it also about Apples, but she said it even more right now, that she wasn't expecting that something so conceptual would be also so humanistic.
Sometimes being in love is lonelier than being alone, is another quote from the movie. In a dystopian world that is not so dystopian, but in the Fingernails world, where everybody must be happy and in love, but at the same time they all look so sad and lonely, have you ever thought to Fingernails like an essay on the modern awareness about love and relationships?
Yes, for sure. I mean, we're trying to make a comment about how our society right now, and the modern society, is trying to find love even by one click, and everything has become so much like fast food emotions. And but at the same time, because everything has become so fast, I think that we are not appreciating it. And many times we are exactly as you said about the quote, we are in a relationship, but we are lonelier than ever. And I think that we are living really lonely because we are living with these cell phones all day. We're behind the screen all day. And that scares me a little bit. I mean, I think that we are living in a dystopia without realizing it. But I really hope that we will start seeing people in their eyes.
Do you think that we need more movies like Fingernails, new ways, new point of views to tell the same old stories?
I don't know. I love this kind of films that they can create something. More than that, I think that we need unique visions. More than that, we need real auteurs and unique visions that they will tell stories that they will fascinate us and they will create something very different in a way. I mean, but mostly we need good films. I think that's what we are missing right now. We need good films.
Are you thinking about something new movies in your next future?
Yes, we are trying to create a story that we follow a group of extras that they are playing in famous movies from 80s.
Do you like genres and how they can tell different stories with new rules or different rules from comedies or dramas?
I always believe that in my eyes there are no genres and that I'm not a big fan of them, and I'm not a big fan also when movies are taking themselves more serious than they are. I believe that movies should be everything, like how our life is everything, and it's always better when you combine different genres and create something more unique as a tone.